Hello, friends, fans, and others. We're here at General Convention in Anaheim for another edition of IntegriTV. I'm your host, Pamela Reamer-Williams, and we are so glad you're here. The Very Reverend Rowan Smith is Dean of St. George's Cathedral in Cape Town, South Africa. It's known as the People's Cathedral. Dean Smith came to convention to share his perspective on life in his province of the Anglican Communion.
The 76th General Convention of the Episcopal Church has chosen a theme taken from Africa, which is called Ubuntu. Ubuntu is more than philosophy, it's an experience of interconnectedness. If we say that we are persons to other persons, it doesn't stop at the borders of the United States or the borders of the Episcopal Church. And so if we're taking seriously what the Episcopal Church commits itself to through this convention, it has to show care and concern about those who are more vulnerable in other parts of the community, notably in Africa. So the voices of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender persons need to be heard, not least because almost every day there's a black lesbian somewhere who is either raped because of being lesbian or killed because she dares to be open about her sexuality. The same is true also of gay men in parts of Africa, in Nigeria, Kenya, and Uganda, where despite the fact that we exist in Africa, there's this myth that goes around to say it's un-African. If anything is un-African, and the Episcopal Church needs also to say this, is to exclude anybody from community. Ubuntu speaks about our togetherness, our sharing a common cup. The very fact of communion means, therefore, we are concerned about all those, especially those who are on the margins of our society. And for the Episcopal Church, they were to take a stand at this convention or in the course of its own work that it does around this issue, gives encouragement and a sense of hope to particularly black lesbians and gays in Africa.
In June 2008, Katie Sherrod and Cynthia Black traveled to Uganda and Kenya to film stories of LGBT Anglicans and our allies. 1 year, 2 screenings at Lambeth, and many other countries later, the film is now in the hands of all Anglican bishops and is being distributed throughout the Episcopal Church and the Anglican Communion. Join us on Monday night for a screening of Voices of Witness Africa at 7 p.m. in the Carmel Room on the 4th floor of the Anaheim Hilton Hotel. Integrity's legislative team is the heart and soul of Integrity's presence on the floor of the convention. Legislative team co-leader, John Richardson, sat down with us to give us perspective on the task at hand.
Our primary role with deputies is building relationships, helping deputies to see that lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people are Christians. We are baptized. We are here to serve Jesus. There does seem to be a lot more optimism at this convention than there was in 2006. Susan Russell has said several times that at this General Convention we're not working against an organized opposition, but we're working against a disorganized anxiety. There is some anxiety. The church longs to be a part of the Anglican Communion. The church longs to welcome gay and lesbian people in all aspects of the life and ministry of the church. So there's a tension there. I think a lot of what people think when they come to General Convention, they think is pretty hard and set in stone. But I see hearts changing. I see the Holy Spirit working in the midst of us. I see it in the Eucharist. I see it in the hearings. I see it in the committee deliberations. She's here and she's dancing. There are no obvious victories at General Convention, but there also are no obvious failures at General Convention. I enter these 2 weeks with profound hope. I really believe that the church is ready to move beyond and move forward and to bring all of the sacraments to all of the baptized. The most inspiring thing that's happened at General Convention so far happened just a few minutes ago. I was present at the first ever trans-Episcopal Eucharist. And after all of the beauty and production of the Integrity Eucharist, I found myself imagining the beginnings. The reason we're here is to broaden the reach of Christ's saving embrace. And being at the Trans-Episcopal Eucharist helped me to see that happen just a little bit more.
Our former president, Michael Hopkins, recalls the 1998 Lambeth Conference and Integrity's presence there.
Well, when I first became president of Integrity, we were just about to go to the Lambeth Conference in 1998. The biggest change was that we became a lot more collaborative. When I began my time as president, we had a reputation in some circles of not playing well with others. And needing to sort of do things our way. And pretty early on, I was approached by folks from All Saints Pasadena who had begun the Beyond Inclusion program at their parish and wanted to become involved nationally. And I was willing to have that conversation, and it blossomed eventually into what we called Claiming the Blessing.
Many of the deputies at this year's convention are returning participants, so we asked them, what's different this time?
A lot of the folks who have left the church have left it a little less combative. I mean, it's kind of almost, it's almost peaceful.
I think there are more people of color, for one thing, which is good. And there is more of a spirit of collaboration among all the people, especially people of color.
It seems quite evident to me that there is a greater focus on mission, and I'm hearing fewer comments about the issues that simply divide and sometimes harm us. Of saying, I think the spirit of the convention is that we're not ignoring our differences. We're not denying some of our difficult choices and challenges, but we're doing it in a much greater spirit of unity, like the President of the House of Deputies preached about what unity really means. And I think it flows right out of our baptismal covenant of respecting the dignity of every human being and seeking and serving Christ in all people. And I've been to 7 general conventions. This is one where I believe the spirit of that covenant, the equality, the inclusiveness, and truly respecting the dignity of every person is more of a common theme, and one that people are holding on to and wanting to share and even to build.
General Convention continues tomorrow, and of course IntegriTV will be there to bring you stories you won't find anywhere else. But if you can't wait until then, check out our blog, friend us on Facebook, and track our tweets. There's so much happening, you won't want to miss out. Of course, you can find it all at www.integrityusa.org. We hope you've enjoyed this edition of IntegriTV. Thank you so much for all the wonderful comments and encouragement you're leaving us on our blog and on Facebook. We'll do it all again tomorrow, so be sure to check it out. Until then, I'm Pamela R. Dubb, and thank you for watching.